All right, let's rock and roll. Here we go, here we go. It is May 12th.
You are. It shouldn't be a...
Gathering of City of Lawrence Board of Parks Recreation. That thing outside is called the Sun, and it's going to warm up. And I am a race car dork, and the month of May is here, and kind of excited. Big track meets, and my Orioles are not out of the pennant race yet, and we're not yet, and they're running race cars out at 16th and Georgetown Road, so all is good. All right. Miss D is in Las Vegas, and we're stuck with Eric doing minutes for tonight, so speak slow and use one-syllable words. That Northwestern High School education may come into play here. Howard County's finest. All right, real quick, we, if you had a chance to peruse the minutes from way back on April the 14th, if there are any additions, subtractions, corrections, if there's not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
A second. All those in favor accepting the minute?
Aye.
And I just want to say it's good to have my board, all your bones here. It's good to see you. You're all healthy and alive. Mr. Burns down there on his walking stick. Other than that, it's good to have you guys.
Ellen and I are the hip replacement call.
Boy, I know.
Hip replacement patrol.
But it's good to see you guys here, and I'm glad to have you guys on board. We have our usual friends here, and I like to jump around so in case they don't want to stick around. I'm going to have our newest grandmother come forward, and Miss Judy, we talked today. How many grandkids now, madam?
Combined, we have 5, actually.
Jeez, oh, Pete. And she would never spoil a grandkid. Never. Never, never, never. But that's exciting for you. And if they have a heart half as big as yours, the world's a better place. And so it's good to, you're back from Cali. Give us a report.
Sure. So I'm sure all of you have received the information that the grand opening has been postponed from May 22nd until June 18th. Mm-hmm. The VIP event is still on, so you're still all invited to come out and toast with champagne as we take you on a tour through the behind the scenes of everything Fort Bend Cultural Campus. You know some of our delays, the windows, the amphitheater, and we determined as a staff last Friday that there was word that the binder for the play surface under the musical swings was delayed. And to have a community event on those musical swings, which are so incredibly popular, and not to allow people on them, wouldn't work.
You one time to screw that up.
Yeah, so that was kind of the catalyst. On top of that, the grass seed just went in this week, and it's late, and so it's going to be very difficult to socially distance people if they don't want to step in the dirt. And so we made that really hard decision. We put together a communication plan on Monday. Really proud of my staff. They took a really difficult situation. They were very efficient with grace and getting communications out to everyone. And we've received a lot of wonderful responses, one of which is from Jeff that we are sharing with our board of directors. We're feeling the love of everyone saying we get it.
We're going to get those damn windows in time for the real grand opening. That's not a bad thing.
So today, Jeff, no, yesterday I was informed that Monday I was told the windows are on schedule, they're going to be in on May 18th and they're going in, and then yesterday I heard that the window glass is all broken.
That's why we drink. I'm sorry.
So they have to order new glass for the windows, and I don't have an installation date. So that's where we are. But there are so many great things to showcase you guys next Friday at the tour. We have all kinds of interactive things at the fort, including a sneak peek of our augmented reality app, interactive sculpture. The swings work, but So anyway, we're still really excited to show off for all our VIPs. And then on June 18th, we will have a grand opening that spans an entire weekend. And so we will.
That's good.
Yeah, we had already planned for a Fridays at the Fort for June 18th. We had planned for a Juneteenth Jubilee for Saturday, June 19th. And we have 2 concerts between May 22nd and June 18th that we have to postpone. And so we're hoping that one of them can provide their concert on Sunday.
That'd be nice.
And so even if they can't, it's very easy to find a band. We have to start saying no to the bands that want to play. So we will enhance those 3 events with a lot more activities with, Amy's watercolor painting and face painting and I can't remember all the other little activities for kids and some little one-off presentations. We have little hip-hop dancers and things going on.
I kind of like the
Great.
delayed date because school's not out yet, but school will be out, I think.
I actually had someone talk to me at the State
Not
of
all
the City address and said, "Oh, you did that just for me because now I can come." So,
Well, the month of May, as you heard me say, I'm a dorky race person guy.
yeah.
And May 22nd was cramping my going out to the racetrack day. But yes, I don't think this is all necessarily bad.
Yeah, well, it was necessary.
Oh, good.
We have it. That's pretty much it, unless you
And
have,
if you haven't RSVP, I'm actually going to get a tux and wear my Chuck Taylors to it. So
for you.
I don't wear ties, but I will get kind of fancy dude up for the VIP because it is a big deal. And
Yeah.
keep swinging. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, and please do RSVP because we ask you to sign up for a tour slot because we're taking people through, since it's indoors, we're taking people through 20 people at a time so that, we're not too congested, so.
Exciting. Real quick, do we have an art meeting tomorrow at 9 o'clock?
Yeah,
9:30,
it's
the
9:30.
planning committee.
9:30. Eric, make note of that. So you and I have a date in your office, 9:30.
Yep,
Got it.
got it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Mr. Yates, it's your turn, sir.
All right, Mr. President, board members, good afternoon, everyone. Just a couple of quick updates for you. Arbor Day, we had our tree planting a couple of weeks ago in celebration of Arbor Day. It was a great success. This was our first venture out to really do something active in such a way with the foundation because we're such a young organization. I would have liked to have had 50 trees planted, but nevertheless, we planted 6, so I think that's a good start.
To start.
Yeah, it was a great start, and our community partner, OYO, was thrilled with the effort, so all in all, I think we feel very positively about that day.
Real quick, they planted them on the south side of OYO. So if you get a chance, it's right there on kind of the ridge area. It'll complement that.
Yeah, when those trees mature and grow, that's
Yeah.
going to be a nice shaded area. Will also prevent people from wanting to pull their vehicles as close as they possibly can
Yes.
to the ball field, so it'll serve a nice dual purpose, so. We, as many of you know, we have hosted several mobile food pantries through, starting last summer in 2020. We're going to host another one here in a couple of weeks, May 26th. Happens to be a Wednesday. It'll once again be held at Community Park. We're partnering again with Gleaners Food Bank, Community Health Network, MSD Lawrence Township. I think we're going to have the Boy Scouts volunteer for this one, so it's just a nice blend to bring community resources and stakeholders together while we're doing good for families who need some fresh food options.
Trace, what's that time again?
4 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
That's what I thought. Thank you, sir.
Bet.
And, I'm going to give a shout out. They had their first board meeting, and I attended. It's a nice, diverse collection of Lawrence residents, Lawrence Township residents, and I said it there, I'll say it here. These food pantry drives are an opportunity. Forget the old folks that work it and all of that a minute. It gives the kids that come out and work the food drive to realize some of them are recipients of various types of assistance, but it gives them a chance to give back. Humility is a mother, and the younger the age you get it, the better. So I think that's what's important here.
Sure, yeah, thank you for saying so. So in that same spirit, we're going to partner with Community Health Network for another health-related effort for the foundation.
Yes.
On June 5th, which is the first Saturday in June, we're going to host an outreach clinic day for COVID vaccination. And we're really looking to serve our underserved populations, Black and brown communities specifically, who may be lagging behind a little bit with some of those vaccination rates. So Community Health and the foundation partnering together, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That morning. I've worked it out with Eric and
At the
Fall
community-
Creek Baseball, so I think we're okay from a traffic standpoint.
At Community Park.
Community Park, yes, I'm sorry.
And I'm just going to pick your brain here. We're reaching out to our, our best sources through clergy and the like that will reach out to their congregates, and even public service agencies reaching out to folks. I always hate to stereotype, but we're focusing a lot of our population south of Pendleton Pike there a bit. And okay, good. Word of mouth, because watching enough, who needs to get vaccinated, the word of mouth thing.
Yeah, and the nice thing is we have the power of Community Health Network and their communication pipeline
good.
to help us a little bit with this. I think we're going to have a feature on Channel 8. My friend Marco Dominguez, who's with Financial Center, everyone knows Marco in town, it seems. He has a big connection and a big network with the Latino community. So we really want to try to get the messaging out for folks.
That's exciting.
I have distributed to each of you,
that's
hopefully you
cool.
received a copy of this. We're having our first fundraising event for the foundation on July 3rd. Of course, there's a lot of activity in the city of Lawrence on the 4th of July weekend. We want to add to that energy for that weekend. And we're hosting a fundraising event. It's family friendly. I'd like to acknowledge and thank Judy and the Arts for Lawrence team once again. They're serving as our gracious host for this event at the cultural campus. This will be a late afternoon, 5 or 6 o'clock or so through dusk event. And then afterwards, we get to watch fireworks across the street firing off just on the other side of the Schneider building.
And we'll have an update. I'm picking Eric's brain about 4th of July activities. We're going to have, watch us have the damnedest thunderstorm in 50 years come through. I know.
We're going to blame it on you.
We're going to have crap happening, and you don't have to venture very far from home to enjoy yourself.
Right, absolutely. And then lastly is we have a meeting on the books with Mr. Vest and Mr. Martin and some of our leadership and Joe Murphy with the city in a couple of weeks to talk about the recently completed master plan and what are some of the objectives that the city wants to focus on, and more importantly, how can the foundation really play an active role in helping some of those projects come to fruition. So we're excited to convene that meeting and begin having a real dialogue about what we can do working together.
And I'm not going to have that meeting early. Eric and I met with a local group earlier late last week. I think we have one of your first really impactful projects in place. I'm not going to spill the beans yet, but we met with them, and I think it's a great opportunity for the foundation city, and it's a neighborhood project that will leave a major footprint.
Exciting things ahead. Thank you all.
Maybe I'm an idiot. I'm sitting over there babbling,
Thank you, sir.
which I like to do. All right, real quick, a few board comments and just caveat, dovetail off Mr. Yates's comments. Master plan, at today's State of the City address, it got a lot of play from the mayor. Yes, we spent $35,000 on it, but it was very well done. And with the inclusion of an arts district at Civic Plaza, which we have a meeting coming up, we're going to break ground on that come August. It's going to happen, period. We're going to join the 21st century there. The mayor has committed that we're going to spend we're going to spend money on our parks, not just to cut grass and maintain, and it's going to happen. And that master plan is going to drive those conversations. That we know what we have, but that master plan also, if you get a chance, go back and review it. It tells us in details what we have, but it's vague. When I say vague, it's a living document about what we want, what we need. And the mayor has pledged that we are going to invest heavily, Lee Road Park, Community Park, in particular, but we may have an opportunity. He made a couple comments. The city still owns lots of property that, I like what he said. How the hell did the city get that much property? Find a way to dispose of it. We are in need of neighborhood pocket parks and the like. So that's down the pike. Real quick, Eric is going to update us on Gin Park Starrett Center, on its completion. Eric and I went out earlier, or late last week, and met with a neighborhood organization about Explorer Park and the work that needs to be done out there. I was very blunt. We spend so much time with our large youth sports leagues that can suck the energy out of us, and we forget there's an Explorer Park. We had Jerry Riley when it came to the play park out in Oak Landing, somebody to babysit it. Well, we have a neighborhood group that's really has their eye on making sure Explorer Park's not ignored. The need for pocket parks are important, so Eric will give us an update on that. I drove around, I saw opening day for FC Pride, and that was the day we had our foundation meeting, FC Pride and Fall Creek Baseball. Eric will give us some numbers on that, but Community Park was insane. It's the way it should be, and I mean that in a good way. You see the strain on Community Park when it's as busy as it was from, the parking lot. Tracy brought up the issue of the need of Wi-Fi. We're seeing people wanting to rent community center out more and more for events, and the need to upgrade Community Parks Community Center. It's kind of fun to see people come out of their cocoon after the last year and a half. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot, unless you guys have been out and about looking at stuff to bug Eric about, noticing things that need to be taken care of. Anything?
I got one.
Go ahead.
The Civic Plaza,
Mm-hmm.
the Otis apartments or whatever they are.
The Otis.
They have signs up along the street saying parking for Otis. Is that going?
Yeah, the only, I guess, unfortunate thing about that development is through the Land and Water Conservation Fund, we have to provide one handicap space, and that's all that we're required by the funding. So that will be on the south side of the Otis Avenue. We're going to have to move some things around, so it'll still be parallel parking, but we'll have one handicap. That will be something we'd have to restrict parking. We'd have to go through the council and have the council approve
They already have the signs up there. It looks like restricted parking. There are signs up that says parking for Otis at the Fort residence.
Is that, okay, all right.
There's some on Otis.
Okay.
Sounds like something I need to tackle. Email me that, your observation. I have a reuse authority meeting on Monday at my other job. I have a reuse authority meeting on Monday. I'll run that by Aletha.
Who controls the street though?
That's
Those
city,
streets, yeah.
but I don't think city put those signs up.
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Without looking, Tom, I don't know what to.
Email me as soon as you can, and I'll get that address tomorrow.
Okay.
And we'll figure out what's up. Because at the mayor's speech today, I sat at the table, the director working with the Otis, God, I'm losing my mind, Cityscape, who is overseeing that. So I'll find something out. Because they've sold That's a hot commodity going right now, selling those apartments.
Yeah,
They're going fast.
It might be temporary until they get the parking set up or whatever.
I will,
It's just yard sign type thing.
got it. I'll go
I
by
know
there
there's-
tonight and ask.
Their parking is going to be within the complex, from my understanding, but
I was going to say, we thought, for a while, it was stormwater issues and sewer was our issue. Parking's going to become an issue eventually, a big issue over there. And I will look into that.
The farmer's market, are we doing that?
we are, I believe the first date is June the 18th, I believe. Is that, if that's a Thursday?
We got the parking signs right there where the
Okay.
farmer's market's.
Yeah.
Are we doing all the farmers market there at the future Civic Plaza?
We're going to do it there until construction starts.
Okay.
She's planning on using the street anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought, yeah.
should be able to proceed.
Got it.
With just using the street. But if not, we'll probably move out to Lee Road.
Okay.
The remainder of the year, if that's the case. So, well, briefly, I'll just give you an update on, Jeff and I we were asked to present to the council last Monday. And we presented some information in regards to future development, and we talked about the master plan. And in that discussion, we did talk about the soccer. They did have their first Red Lions tournament this year, 700 teams. Very well-attended tournament. So I think things are starting to happen over at Community Park. And then the same day, Fall Creek softball and baseball had 250 kids. Did a small parade within the park. I think they were a little late getting the information out, but I think that was well received, and their numbers they actually had to close registration. They probably could have got a few more kids in this year, but they had to close registration to order shirts and that sort of thing. So,
We're juggling, relocating, and yeah, they're juggling lots of things.
but our primary discussion at the council meeting turned to the catering contracts that were issued by the board in January and signed in, I believe it was March. And the council, it seemed to me that their opinion that we don't have a diverse enough menu that we need to look at additional vendors. I did sent the attorney an email today and haven't heard back from her, but what I told the council, what I believe to be the case, the Parks Board can entertain additional vendors anytime, but it would probably behoove them to wait until December when the contract runs out. Contracts renew in January with the 3 vendors that we have. Either the city or the vendor can pull out. It's a 3-year agreement, but
We're kind of in an area right now. What's our restrictions, Eric, for numbers of people?
50 people.
And right now, it's probably cost prohibitive right now for any of those vendors to go in. And I'm going to speak from the chair here. There is ample opportunity for input from council, the city council. They have a parks committee. Do not know the last time when they actually had met. They do not attend our meetings on a regular basis. I will say that too. There was ample opportunity for people to give elective folk to give input on the direction we were going. So none of this from an elective legislative approach, none of this should have been surprising. It appeared, obviously, it was. As you can tell, I am not pleased, but once more, that to me, when you hear me say we're the best kept secret in the city of Lawrence, that's another example why we are the best kept secret in the city of Lawrence when it comes to such activity, because the opportunity to express interest to be a caterer out here, we used Lawrence Township Chamber of Commerce. It was advertised in the Indianapolis Star and at our city website. A little disappointed by saying we didn't, but it was also eye-opening on our part here too, that, hey, there are these vendors, caterers that are out there that are willing to extend services to our citizens. I just wish when we were going through this process, we would have had that opportunity to work together on making sure everybody had an opportunity to contract with folks that would meet their needs.
So,
Not to jump too far ahead, but what were their suggestions about how we should advertise to get more diversity?
Well, and that's kind of the thing, because in the past, remember, we made money. That sounds like Big Bubba from Vegas here. We made our money by renting the facility out. And if Trace, sorry to put you on the spot there, Mr. Yates, but Trace has a wedding, 300 people there. You paid for the rental. You got the security deposit. We never did ask who, and you probably may have used a caterer. We never inquired who that caterer was. And that's probably, we did not envision ourselves getting into the business of providing catering. Our facilities never warranted it. And it's a learning process. And we never did inquire who Trace Yates used, or, Judy used, or you guys used at your big event that you had. We were just concerned about getting that rental fee. And
so to answer your question, Tom, I'm not sure how we'll do it, but we'll make sure that the council's aware of it. And if they want to have a vendor from Nashville, Tennessee, send us an application, more than likely.
we won't abandon the process.
I don't want to go down this road again.
No.
We've been there before.
Right. Yeah.
I know where you're going, yes.
I don't want to go there again.
We know there's a process.
If they have suggestions, they need to put them out there.
Right.
And
They're welcome to come attend a meeting. They're welcome to vent their concerns through their own Parks Committee.
And I'm confident that the process we used was legal, and maybe it wasn't to everyone's liking, but that it was still done according to our policy that the committee set up to, and
We did it through the attorney, right?
correct.
So,
Yeah. So just a little FYI that Jeff and I were roasted for a while, but we'll survive. And do want to let the board know that the controller, Fenwick, is leaving in June the 11th. But with his ability to save the city money, one of the last things he's going to do is hopefully get through the council a 5% increase for all
Parks employees.
all staff, city civil and officers. Be retroactive back to January, and then 5% through the rest of the year. So a couple other things. Sign at the Starrett Center was supposed to go up Monday, but due to weather, they postponed that until the 17th, so that's going in next Monday. We're doing the landscaping tomorrow.
Hardcore landscaping. If you notice, Eric,
We've really torn stuff. Well, there's nothing left.
there's nothing left.
yeah, I noticed that.
Great big tree cut down. I sat, being the hillbilly that I am, I sat out there in my truck and watched them climb up there and cut it down.
Something missing there.
Yeah. It was intense.
Yeah. Jeff mentioned Civic Plaza. So again, that's a partnership with the Department of Natural Resources through the Land and Water Conservation Fund, and of course the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority to develop that. And it's going to be a really nice focal point of that area. wanted to briefly mention the Gaelic Athletic League.
Yes.
Those poor guys. And I'll send it to you, but they've sent me an email. They still haven't got authorization from Marion County Board of Health. They put their application in February.
They're playing outside.
So,
What do they do when they're together?
well, that's so I
will never
they
question.
sent me the email strain. He is actually, every 2 weeks, he sent them an email. So
Really?
I've got 8 or 12 emails that he sent to and he said they actually got one phone call back, said they were going to send it out the following week, and he's never received his authorization. So I would hope that the board would allow them to hold their events, because it's not their fault that they're not getting information.
They have insurance.
They have insurance.
They need to play. That's me speaking. You guys can stampede me, but they have insurance, proof of insurance. Tonight, they're running the Marion County boys track meet down at Lawrence Central. Last week, we hosted a four-state high school all-star basketball game at Lawrence North all day Saturday, and I gave a test to 200 kids for the SAT inside, and we had spacing and masks and all that.
It's 2 fields. I think there's 8 players on a team, so
Right.
16 on the field.
There were 100 people inside the professional development room at Craig today. There, Miss Amy, and yeah.
So if you want to do that as a action of the board, then I'll let Josh know that.
I don't know if we need to do it as an action, but they do have a use agreement with us, correct? Now, the only issue I have, who shows up out there when they're playing? From the health department to say, you don't have X, Y, Z, what happens?
They would probably just require them to have X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
I don't know that they would shut them down. Again,
I'd make them aware of X, Y, and Z preparation.
if they have that, then I guess they can call me and I'll go over and
Okay.
intervene. Because it's just not, everyone else is out recreating, and if they're trying to do it the right way, and they're being stymied.
I think they should be, yes, if anyone has an objection, but yes, tell them to Gaelic away.
So that was, lastly, Jeff might detail this a little more than the COVID funding. Marion County and City of Indianapolis are receiving in excess of $400 million. Lawrence is asking for some of that. We don't know what
Based
that
on
will be.
population.
But it has to be spent on reimbursements, of course, for COVID expenses. Revenue loss, where we might be able to obtain some money for revenue loss, and then utilities. So we're trying to figure out how to utilize the utility portion of it.
Did you get a chance from the Star last week, the author of a story that goes back a month ago? God, I can't feel bad. She was real good. Talked about how the first CARES Act, Indianapolis received XYZ amount of money. Lawrence did not get the kiosks that are used to pay for utilities. The purpose was they were to keep people, a lot of people pay in person still their utility. So we did the kiosks to pay your utilities. That was not covered. Indianapolis, and I keep saying that, they did not warrant that should be covered under CARES Act money. They ran a story last week about the excluded cities and towns. Of course, Beech Grove, Lawrence, Southport, and Speedway are the excluded cities from UNIGOV from exactly 50 years ago when it went into effect. We're not getting much support from Indianapolis, and hopefully, I doubt it, they're watching. We're not getting any support from the city-county councilors that represent the city of Lawrence, Allie Brown and Ethan Evans. Not getting support from them yet. Hopefully, maybe what I just said stirs the pot a little bit. But Lawrence is due a substantial amount of money to cover some things. I would highly recommend that you contact Ethan Evans and Allie Brown. I have, at least Allie came back and said a month ago she would look into it. Haven't heard back, never heard anything from Ethan about the situation. But these are monies owed to the excluded cities. And you'll hear me get on my soapbox how we constantly subsidize the city of Indianapolis. Parks opportunities for kids to participate in recreational sports at no cost to them. This is important to our city and the things that we want to get accomplished. So Ethan Evans, Allie Brown are the representatives in the city of Lawrence and the City County Council. They need to hear, and you can say member of City of Lawrence Parks Board. Andre Carson, Congressman Carson, Victoria Sparks have written on behalf of the City of Lawrence in support of the excluded cities to get a fair sharing of this money. It's important for all of us going forward. Once more, like I said, we do subsidize heavily the recreational activity of the city of Indianapolis. So here's my soapbox.
Lastly, Jeff did mention that we met on Thursday with some concerned citizens of the Lawrence Park neighborhood, Richard and along that area. And they had some viable discussions with us. So just to let you know, we've done some things over there. We removed some trees that were dead and dangerous, and so we did remove those, and we're working on a lighting project now. So again, I think that's something we're going to discuss. They also have a community service day set up for June the 13th. It's a Sunday.
This is what we were talking about. We need to get Michael Green and Foundation, and it's targeted on Explorer Park. And, you know, goes back to what I said earlier, we need to emphasize those neighborhood parks as those places. And they brought up a great point. They noticed it this past year and a half. People couldn't go anywhere, nothing was open. People congregated to the neighborhood park.
What do they want there? Do they want more stuff there, or?
Maintenance to start out with.
Most of it, initially it's maintenance items, of course. And as I explained to them, you know, we go in and we mow, we pick up the trash, we're in and out. We don't, and we need the community's eyes to let us know. And we went over and fixed a light pole that was missing a plate. So just those sort of things that we know, that they noticed, and we went over and did. The trees were removed.
With the emphasis being we have to be partnerships in this. We just have to be partners in this. And they have council, the City of Lawrence Council folks. That's an opportunity for our city council folks to work with us when they hear it from their constituents to go, hey, we got to fix these things. It goes back, our big rec sports get the attention in the neighborhood parks. You know, Oak Landon had Jerry Riley forever and ever and ever, and Explorer Park's got Michael Green folks. It was a great meeting. It was 2 hours, but it was great. The pavilion area is their project. They want to work on the soffits, the venting, painting, the bathroom area, the trees that had fallen. No one was asking for anything additional. They just had done an inventory, a quality of life type of inventory of the TLC that this place needs.
Yeah, I think that's a great part.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I love it because it's having the playground in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Got the walking track around the
Yep.
outside. You can see the kids playing the whole time.
That's exactly what they said.
Family can go and do something. You got the.
And you can rent the pavilion too.
Yeah.
I mean, as a parent, I think like a lot of families probably feel more comfortable having birthday parties outside right now.
That's what you were hearing, and kids gathering in the summer. Michael brought up a good point. This is the type of thing that Chief Hoffman loves to get is hands dirty with. It's the fun part about policing is, we need more policing patrols that are in that area, but that's right up Chief Hoffman's forte, is working one-on-one with communities. And so hopefully that's a partnership that, it's a part that people may not even know about, and it's unfortunate.
That's one of the things, too. I don't think a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
And Eric, that was the last time we got a bond for the parks, we used it on Explorer Park.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
With the shelter and the restroom,
And
pave the walkway.
it was a great meeting.
Do we have any signage over there?
Do not, that's going to be in the 2022 budget, so.
Not only park signage, but, kind of signage alerting people that, park. Kids, yeah.
What's there too, because since it sits back,
Yeah.
a lot of people, when they drive past it, they don't even look back in there and see what's there.
Yeah.
And now that you cut some of the trees,
Yeah.
so you can see back in there, I think they're more aware.
Yeah, we might look at pulling the fence back away from the sidewalk, so it gives a little more green space up front.
That's a park that's gone through, now we're showing our age here, but when I lived over in Harrison Park, it had, that was the splash park. We called it the wading pool park. And then when it went away, they put in the basketball courts. And Ms. Taylor, me and Ronnie and Bob and Big Tim Burns and that collection of freaking Mensa members, we spent days playing basketball out there, and it's now transferred over to really a neighborhood park for families.
Yeah.
So,
So that's all I have on
Eric, real quick, 4th of July update, other than a date on the calendar.
just spoke to the carnival vendor today. I thought we were having problems. Again, they're, just as in 19, they're having a hard time getting staffing because most of his staffing comes from Mexico. So he's right now in Nashville, Tennessee, and he was in Terre Haute this morning to pick up a trailer. But regardless of that, they're going to be here on the well, they'll be here on Monday, but we'll open up on the 1st,
Okay.
1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and probably the 5th.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I got a couple things. The property that you mentioned, Jeff, that the city owns, is that property we got from the federal government, or do we?
The properties I mentioned earlier is just a comment the mayor made today about the numbers of property the city owns throughout the whole city. And he still did, and I like what he said. He goes, I don't know how we got them all. So
Are we interested in?
I don't know. That's your homework assignment, Eric.
Well, the only one we'd be interested in would discuss the at 79th and Oak Landing Road, the utility building.
Right.
But it's not probably big enough for that area. We need something.
And one that's out there is possibly the community gardens that's adjacent to Monarch Beverage that the new owners don't seem as inclined or excited about as Monarch did, correct?
It's my understanding, yeah.
Now, the park that went in at Monarch out there, that's still ours, correct?
Bragdon, yeah, we still own that, yeah.
Now, do we maintain it, or how's that working now?
A lot of maintenance there because it is just that. It's just a wetland area.
Right.
It's not supposed to be maintained. It's supposed to just
Right.
natural. We have discussed in the master plan as a boardwalk or some sort of a trail system connecting that to Post Road and Mithofer when the opportunity comes.
And we did sit in, not to go off on a tangent here, it's been, 3 Fridays ago with DNR talking about the next level, the trails.
Yeah.
And what the state looks at funding at trails and what we consider what we need trails are, the criteria does benefit wealthier cities. It does benefit cities that already have a vigorous trails program already in place. Is that a good way to?
Yeah, but we'll reapply
Yes.
it's the last funding process with the next levels trails. And so hopefully if we look at connecting some school sites, neighborhood sites, our neighborhood, if we can get community interest in that, that helps our scoring. So
The Fox Road Trail is open, and that was a combination of City of Indianapolis
safe
and
routes to school. I
Safe
believe.
Routes to School program. It's open. And, you know, the issue I brought up, connecting trail going south down to Oakland and Play Park, or connecting trails going to the north that would connect eventually with the Fall Creek Trail, which is a combination of Indianapolis and prominently Fishers, because Fortville, the Fortville portion of it is not complete, and that enters into another conversation about monies.
Do they want trails you can bike on?
They don't, they're not, specificity is not a,
No, it's just even if it's an improved sidewalk, sidewalks can be marked as trails. It's just, you know, we were looking at just at the connection points.
That's what I'm thinking.
And that's,
Connecting some of these things.
it's unfortunate that we couldn't score high enough because we weren't connecting enough things, but I think that,
so we have smatterings of routes, like in neighborhoods.
yeah. So if we can show those connection points and have other agency buy-ins, maybe the state park, we should score better. And we didn't have the funding level. They only require 25%. They give more money if you have more money. So
Okay.
we fell short on that end also.
I got one other thing.
Yeah.
On the, as you're talking about the master plan with people, you know, I've got a lot of things in there that are really great ideas.
Right.
But we also need maintenance. You know, I just want to keep bringing that up so we don't lose that.
You know, the big push that we're getting right now is, we're getting pickleball courts and adult recreation, not kid, adult recreation is becoming a bigger and bigger thing that they're going for. Before we sign off on anything, I would like to think that this board would be more than prepared to, I think we can build a lot of stuff. I think the biggest pushback we as a board, when these opportunities to improve or add to our parks, is do we have the wherewithal to maintain?
Well, we've got lots of maintenance needs right now.
Yeah.
And we're seen being stretched thin. I'm going to give a employment opportunity plug here. Eric, City of Lawrence Parks Department is looking for seasonal employment at $12 an hour, going 7 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. Please call 317-549-4815. As flippant as that might sound, this year probably, as much as any other year, we're in need of seasonal employment, big time, as we take on more and more property to take care of. And whoever's watching saw that, we need you.
You think how many things we've added over the years, and how much more you have to take care of, and you
Yes.
know, we need to figure that into the plans.
Exactly.
I'm in favor of adding on, but I want to maintain too.
I'll put that on Facebook.
Thank you.
Yes, if that was,
They can go on the city website and actually apply on the website, so. City of
we
Lawrence.
need seasonal employment desperately, folks. I cut my teeth out here, Ronnie did, Bobby, the whole litany of us.
Don't use yourself as a,
Just think, you could grow up and be me, people.
see what happens if you do this?
You're laughing, people. I'm not feeling good with that. Anything else there, Mr. Eric?
No, I'm fine.
Well, you have to stand there. We have one actionable item here. We have to get an FC Pride agreement for 2021. Eric, give us the particulars, please.
Well, we had this before the board, and then we changed, our new city legal changed some things, so I'll primarily go through those. I did send everybody, but primarily item 3, subsection B, talks about improvements. So we set the monetary amount at $30,000 for 2021. So what will happen at the end of the year, FC Pride will come to talk to us about what they've done, and they've already paid $7,500 for a striper and gator. So
What are they picking up this year they didn't do in the past?
They've painted the bathrooms. They've done some concession work. They're doing some netting. Hopefully they're going to fix the fence. So there's a lot of things that they've.
Now, they're doing the striping now entirely.
Yeah.
How's Ronnie handle, has he had his withdrawal from that?
He's got the mower to keep him busy.
Yeah.
Item 15 deals with insurance. Originally it was $300,000 per occurrence. Now it's $1 million per occurrence. And aggregate it was $1 million. Now it's $3 million. Those are the new state standards, I guess, that we did incorporate. And then I think item 19, leasing may not assign any rights, privileges, or license conferred in this agreement. So they know that they can't sublease, and we've actually done a pretty good job with that so far. I've got the adult soccer league signed up. You guys have done that contract. I should have a contract next month for lacrosse camp and small lacrosse tournament sometime. And
Who's hosting that?
it's a gentleman that he's originally from Columbus, Ohio, but he's Ken. Without looking at the email, I don't. It's a. He helped the township get off.
Right, got going.
Get theirs going. So.
All right.
How did we come up with 30,000?
That's what it was in 2020. So we estimate. I think it was what we used the figure $15 per
Individual
player. There are two leagues they run.
And that's $15 regardless where they live, correct?
Yeah, that was
I just want to make sure people out there realize that's $15 for a Lawrence kid and $15 for a non-city of Lawrence kid. Thank you, Indianapolis. You're welcome.
You don't get caught on the other.
Right. I just want to make sure people know that, what we're providing to the northeast side of, and now Hancock County. Make sure people realize that. All right, that's our motion on, I'll entertain a motion to enter into agreement with our friends at FC Pride. Anyone? Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and they do a great job. Their numbers are what, Eric?
they have 1,000 kids in the well, they don't have 1,000. They have a little less, right at 700 in the spring season. And of course, their premier runs year-round almost. They've got about 300 kids in that premier program, and then their fall season should get up to about 1,000. So almost 2,000 the entire season.
They do a real good job, but like our other youth leagues. I'm going to be honest, get it out there. Cathedral wants to use the facility. We've got to bring that to fruition. They continue to advertise on their website their youth soccer camp out there at Lawrence Community Park. Not anti them being out there, but we've got to bring this to a conclusion. So,
Do that before June.
yes, we got to make that happen.
And if you would like to, I can send the carnival agreement to you, or we can discuss it. And
How desperate is he to have it done?
well, he'll be here regardless. So, but I would like to have something.
How different is it from 2019?
It's the same as 2019, actually. So, really, all we're concerned about is the revenue. 15% up to the first 150, up to first 100,000. 20% after after 120,000, or after 100,000. So I think 2019 was about 87 grand, so
Does their insurance coverage need to be updated?
they will pull insurance when they pull into they don't write it until they actually pull onto the site.
Okay.
Because it's I was speaking to him today, he was out of fuel because of the fuel crisis on the East Coast.
East Coast, yeah.
So in Nashville, Tennessee, he couldn't find diesel to fill up his 600-gallon generator.
Wow.
So he's got enough to run through Friday night, so hopefully he can get fuel on Friday. So
You guys have any inquiries, questions about it? If not, we could entertain a motion to, who's the group again?
it is
Get it off the table.
Josh Macaroni with
Yeah.
Primetime Carnival
What a great name.
LLC.
And they've been here how many years?
Josh has been here ever since he was in diapers, but Primetime's been here 7 years.
Okay, same group. So I would entertain a motion that we enter into an agreement for our 4th of July gala with Prime Time with the terms outlined by Mr. Martin.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Just gives us hope springs eternal, people. Daggone it. It's like being a Cubs fan.
Yep.
You know, eventually, next year is going to be here.
And lastly, if anybody knows any pyrotechnics that would like to set off a program on the July 3rd, I'm still looking because
Now, do we have the fireworks?
we've got the fireworks secured, but we don't have a vendor to set them off.
Really?
Kevin Hendrickson, that we've used for many years, is having some health issues, and so we're scrambling to find
Really?
you wouldn't think you'd have a problem setting off fireworks.
Not where you can blow a hand or a split.
We really would like to have somebody licensed and bonded, so.
Have we looked in, I'm just gonna go, Phantom Fireworks, have you, at least I would inquire with them, maybe they can steer you in the right. That's who we get our fireworks from LN. But see if Phantom Fireworks can steer you to someone.
I'm starting to get desperate, so I've called Rose Nelson, who owns Wayne's World Fireworks, and
Jeez.
they're trying to find us somebody. So
They're getting shady characters from the dark web saying they have expertise in explosives. You don't wanna, all right, anything else for the board? If not, Tom, get your hip operated on. It's gonna warm up, go out and watch the cars race.